Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Steve. I'm a realtor with the Suarez Realty Group out here in the Los Angeles San Gabriel Valley. So I had the pleasure of actually taking out a family the other day to see some new builds in West Covina. So it kind of got me thinking, it's like, you know what? Let's talk about the differences between a pre-existing home and a new build. And because there are pros and cons to both, but neither one of them is wrong. So grab a cup of coffee and pull up a chair and let's go ahead and talk about those things. So like I was saying, buying an older home is going to be, there's going to have some pros and cons to buying an older home versus a newer home. So, but like I said, there's no right or wrong to buying either one. It just comes down to preference. So buying an older existing home, I would say one of the pros is like the characteristics and the designs of buying a house. They're all going to be unique. They're going to be more or less different than one from one to the other. And then you got different styles like colonial, Spanish, Victorian style. So just depending on what you're looking for, you're going to find different style homes, different designs and stuff. So that's a big pro. The other pro to buying an older existing home is going to be the neighborhoods that they're in. It's going to allow you to drive through a lot of these different neighborhoods in the cities that you're looking to buy, and it'll give you a better idea as to what neighborhoods you're looking to buy and what it's close to. Maybe you want to be closer to the parks, to the downtowns, the community centers, and so on. So that's a big plus to buying an existing home. And another big plus to buying an existing home would be the landscape. It's given the city and the home itself time to grow. So landscape wise, you're going to have trees, maybe you're going to have grasses, fruit trees, whatever the case may be. It's had time to mature and to grow, to establish itself into the landscape of the houses and stuff. So big plus. For instance, like if you go into Pasadena, obviously Pasadena's been around for over 100 years now. So a lot of these neighborhoods, if you go down some of them, you're going to see these big walnut trees, beautiful landscapes. But it's all had time to establish itself, where if you were to buy a newer home, it's going to take time for that to happen. So that's a big plus to buying an older existing home. Now, as far as cons go, I mean, we can go on the list for this as well too, but some of the ones that I would point out too would be con one to buying an older home is going to be the upkeep. You're going to have more than likely you're going to have plumbing problems at some point, you're going to have electrical problems at some point, and you're going to probably have to replace that roof at some point. It's not to say that it's all going to happen all at once, but at some point it will happen, and it's going to be needed. You're going to have to address these things there. Jesus, I couldn't talk right now. So anyhow, kind of consider that when buying an older home, right? The other thing would be as far as like neighborhoods and stuff like that. Like I said earlier, there's a pro and there's a con to it too. So you want to be able to, like in any city, there's always a good and a bad part of every city. So you might think one thing for the neighborhood and it just becomes something else. So that's something to kind of consider. Some of the other cons to buying an older home would be homes back then were built to different standards that they are nowadays. So with nowadays, we have more stricter safety. We know more about earthquakes and fires and how to be more resistant to those things and how to build better. So older homes are not going to have that, right? So some of the cons to that would be not having a home that's structurally built to withstand an earthquake. Maybe the type of it's not going to be as energy as efficient as a newer home because the insulation was done differently, the windows were done differently. So just something to consider. So not to say that one's better than the other, it's just something that I would just consider as a buyer. Now, as far as buying a new home, hey, who doesn't like something new? Everybody likes things that are new. We all like shiny, pretty new things. So a new home is not any different. So some of the pros to buying a new home is going to be one, energy efficient. They're going to be very energy efficient. They're using the newest technology, the newest insulation, the newest material to build these homes, windows. So you're going to save a lot more money, energy with energy efficient newer homes too, right? So that's a big plus. The other big plus to buying a newer home is going to be, I think in the last 4 or 5 years now, all new builds will be coming with, at least here in California, Southern California, from what I'm understanding, is with solar. So that's what I've encountered so far. So you're going to have solar, so that's a plus, right? So the electricity goes out. You're going to be able to still run your household, and then also too, like I said, you're going to be able to save on the cost of not having solar. So big plus there. And then the one of the biggest things to buying a new home is the warranty. Being that houses are new, more than likely you're not going to need the warranty, but they do warrant their homes. And the fact of the matter is, when they're building these houses, there's different stages to the build, right? So in order for each builder to continue building its house and go into the next phase, there are going to be inspections that are done to each part of that house. So electrical, plumbing, so on and so on. And in order for it to get approved, it has to go through each stage before it goes on to the consumer and stuff. So big plus. Now, some of the cons to buying a house is, one, you're going to lose space, because at least out here in California, Southern California, we're very limited to land and space and stuff like that. So they're being built very close together. You're losing a lot of your yardage if you have anything, period. So that's one of the biggest things that you're going to lose, right? So to me, that's a con, right? The other con to buying a new home is they're going to come in communities, more than likely gated communities, which is going to cost, obviously, HOA fees. So you're going to have fees on top of the mortgage. You're going to have solar panel fees, because the solar panels are either rented or leased to the consumer. So that's more cost there too. So that's another con. And I would say the other con to buying a newer home is, depending on where you're at, the taxes. The taxes are going to be a lot different than if you were to buy a newer home, or an older home, I'm sorry. So those are the things that you want to keep in mind when you're looking to buy old or new. Like I said, there's really no right or wrong here. It's just all preference. Like, for instance, the family I'm working with right now, they don't want to look at anything other than new homes. So for them, they want the bells and whistles, they want the new technology, they want the more efficient home, they want the solar panels, and they're okay not having enough yards or landscape and stuff like that. They're okay being in a community, having an HOA fee. So really, it just comes down to preference. So hopefully this has helped you guys out a little bit. If you guys have any questions, I'd love to help you out. Like I said, I'm out here in the San Gabriel, West Covina area. And we have a lot of new builds, and we have obviously a lot of new pre-existing homes and stuff like that. So I will leave my information down below. Feel free to give me a call or a text, or reach out to me by email, and I'd love to help you guys out. Cool.